How you doing, everyone? This is Ron from the Ocean State Athlete Spotlight on SFBN Rhode Island, powered by SFBN, the Sports Fan Base Network.com. And we have a great interview today with Troy Brown from the New England Patriots, and this is really exciting stuff. Troy has a new book coming out called Patriot Pride, and we want to talk about that a little bit, but just really getting to talk to Troy Brown's exciting. So welcome, Troy. How are you today?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for talking to me. I really appreciate it. So Troy, I wanted to kind of touch on your new book a little bit, Patriot Pride. I also know that you're going to be doing an event at Bar Louie at Patriot Place. It's going to be this Thursday night at 6:30, and that's to kind of promote your book. So let everybody know, what your book is about, and what gave you the inspiration to write your book.
The book is basically about, just my upbringing, my life, my entire life, and I think people they got wind of my story of kind of how I made it, through college and into and to being a Patriot, and how I got to play 15 years as a Patriot, and so I didn't think much of the story, and but other people around me knew of it, and Mike Reese, who helped me write the book, once he found out about it, man, he had so much energy about it. He thought the story was great, and a story that needed to be told, and I didn't see it that way because I thought my life was pretty boring. And he just had so much energy about it, and I was like, well, sure. I'll do it, because I had another guy that at first approached me about doing the book. And, it really wasn't going to be a very kid-friendly book, and I really wasn't feeling it, the way it was coming out. So then when I got with Mike, I felt energized again to do it. So we sat down and did it, man, and he called up a few people and got a few quotes on some people, and really started digging in and doing the book, and he was just pumping out page after page, man. I'm like, geez, yeah, he was getting it in, so he had the energy behind it, and really, he gets a lot of credit, man, and for what he did there. So it was just pretty amazing, and the book came out great. So it just covers me growing up, how I grew up. Like my first couple of jobs and the stuff I did, stuff that, we wouldn't dare be doing, these days. I started out picking, my first job was like a 9-10-year-old kid picking cucumbers, in a 5-gallon bucket for like 50 cents to 75 cents a bucket,
Oh my gosh. It's hard to find those kids.
Yeah. You're not going to find that anymore. So,
no.
pulling weeds out of peanut fields and those kinds of things, and picking cantaloupes, picking watermelons, just hard labor, man, and stuff that you don't see that anymore, and I wouldn't put that kind of labor on my own children, but I do right. I take them home and I let them see, what it was like for me growing up, like my mom and and the house that life started for me in. It was just a 4-room house, not a 4-bedroom, but a 4-room, just like 2 walls, running perpendicular to each other, intersecting each other right in the middle, and that's it. So no indoor plumbing, no indoor bathroom anyway. We had an indoor sink and stuff like that. But it was, that was life as I knew it as a kid. So, and I didn't think anything different of it. Didn't think anything weird about it. So, and then I had a decent high school career, I guess, and was, pretty much undersized my whole high school career, and, it wasn't very fast, especially for my size, and, and just had a certain work ethic about me that kind of caught everybody's eye, that kind of, wanted to help me out and get to here to there, and, and that being said, I had a high school coach that, helped me out, helped me get to college, and, but me, I had no aspirations of going to college or anything. There wasn't very many people that came out of my high school and played college football or went to college, did that kind of stuff. And so I just felt like I was going to graduate and go get a job and go join the military or something. I had no idea I was going to go to college. And I didn't sign a scholarship until like February or something like that, of my senior year, and took the ACT, the SAT, and, and just threw it out there and said, hey, I'll take the scholarship for $500, and that's what it was, $250 a semester, and showed up at the school with my mom, and bought my brother's car, made the orientation, and we didn't know what it was going to take for me to stay in school, but we found out that the school was $7,500 a year to go there, and all we had was the $250 per semester. And but we took it and we ran with it and we figured it out as we went and got some help along the way, some financial aid, Pell Grants, and summer jobs and all that good stuff, and even had a couple of winter jobs picking Christmas trees when I was at the college there, so
oh wow,
to help take care of some of the costs, man, and that's how my college career started at Lees McRae Junior College in Banner Elk, North Carolina. So, and then from there moved on to Marshall, and and surprisingly, got a full scholarship there because the way I got noticed that there, I was actually late for practice at Lees McRae. And these guys from Marshall were there looking at our punt. We had a great punter, man, and a couple other guys they were looking at. And I was actually late, overslept, and it was a rainy day, so they went to gym practice. And these guys just kind of noticed me walk in, and the coach didn't really get on me too bad, for being late. So that kind of sparked their interest, like, who is this guy that's coming in late? And you guys didn't really say a whole lot to him. And they just kind of told him who I was, and, and they just explained to him he's one of our hardest workers, and he never late anything like that, So, and from there, they just kind of took an interest to me and found out more about me. And the next thing I know, they were flying me up to Huntington, West Virginia for a visit, telling me to tell the head coach that all of these schools in the Southern Conference then, which was, Marshall was 1AA back then, right. Telling me that, Appalachian State and Western Carolina and Furman and all these schools were trying to recruit me as well. And that was a lie. So I really didn't, nobody had any interest in me at that particular point, and, talked to the head coach there, Jim Donnan, at the time, and he was really reluctant on giving me a full scholarship, because I think I only had 30 catches, I think, my sophomore year there, which was pretty much nothing. But they kept talking to him, man, and they convinced him that I deserved it, and he let me know that I was getting basically one of his last 2 scholarships that he had. So I kind of knew then that the pressure was on not to let him down. And so I ended up showing up at Marshall, man, and I still talk to the guy that recruited me there to this day, man, and thank him for all that stuff that he did for me, even having us to go in there and tell a lie. So,
well, you made him look good too, Troy.
So I made him look good. I felt bad. I felt bad, but I was like, man, I got to get in the door here, man. I got to get in. So, and but from there, the things went so good there at Marshall. I just knew I was going to be in the draft some kind of way and get to the combine, and and none of those things ended up happening for me. I didn't get invited to the combine. It was a year they cut the draft down from 12 rounds down to 8 rounds, and so I didn't get an invite to the combine. After having a pretty good senior season, and didn't end up going in the draft until the last day. So I was like the number 198 in the draft that year, and ended up getting drafted by the Patriots. And a lot of that was because my head coach was good friends with Bill Parcells. They had coached together back in the 70s down at Florida State. So he hooked me up with that, and that's how I ended up becoming a Patriot. So a lot of the book talks about that, my path to getting here and then sticking around here. Got cut a couple of times from New England, and early on in my career, and so just talking about not giving up on your dream, that type of stuff, and recognizing certain opportunities when you need to recognize them, and just growing up when sometimes when you need to grow up, you got to recognize certain things, or you're going to miss a lot of opportunities, when when you're walking around with your eyes closed most of the time. So that's pretty much what most of the book is about. And then just talking about after that, obviously just my 15 years with the Patriots and how great those years were, and everybody wanting to know what life was like being a New England Patriot and the Patriot way and what that was all about. So a lot of the book is just talking about all those things I just mentioned. If I didn't talk your ear off just now.
No, you did great, and it was great listening. I'm like I said, I'm probably just in awe listening to you. But it was a couple things that you brought up about keeping your eyes open and the kids having to work hard and having to be having to persevere. And not everything goes your way all the time, right, Troy? I mean, sometimes the kids they just need to keep their head up, right?
No, you need to keep your head up, man. I'll tell you a great. In high school, I was a senior in high school, and I was a receiver. I never really left the field. I was playing defensive back in the state championship game, and we're winning the game, and this team was on a 2-minute drill against us. Well, they had this 6'4" receiver or whatever. He catches like a 7-yard hitch in front of me, right? And I come up and make the tackle, and my defensive back coach takes me out of the game and puts another guy in, and I'm like, he caught a 7-yard hitch, and he benches me in the last 2 minutes of the game, and I'm like, right. Really, I'm hurt. So I'm like, what in the world is going on? And that's what he did. That was, I guess I took it like a champ. I mean, I didn't really complain about it. I didn't make a big fuss about it. But, and then years later, after I got drafted in New England, they had this thing for me back home. I came back to it. They had the coach come back, and they asked him what was one of the things he remembered about me in high school. And that's the story he told. He remembered benching me
when he benched you 2 minutes left.
He remember benching me, So there's things that's going to happen to you that you're not always going to like. It's not always going to be in your favor. You don't tuck your tail. I mean, I could have been like, man, I really suck as a player to get benched in the last 2 minutes. And
unbelievable.
Put my head down, tuck my tail, whatever, and say I'm done with this, But that's not how I handled the situation, And then I got even at Leeds McRae, when I went to Leeds McRae, I went there. I didn't even make the travel team my freshman year for the first 3 road games. They left me behind. I didn't even make the travel team, dude, on a junior college team. So didn't even make the travel squad. I got to travel 1 week because we had 2 injuries, and then I got to travel, and then we got to the game, and somebody else got hurt, and I ended up playing almost the entire game. And went in, they had a good game, and then I traveled every week since then,
Right, yeah, so it's a little bit of a situation, too.
Yeah, so, and it was the hardest thing in the world for me to deal with, being in college, being away from home, got nobody to talk to, really. I'm sitting at home, they're leaving me. You sit there and you watch the bus roll away, and all your teammates are there on the bus. You had a school in the middle of nowhere, and they're pulling off, and you're sitting there,
right.
with what in the world, man, So it took everything in my mic not to pack my bags and just go back home, But I fought through it, it seemed like an eternity, but it was really just 3 games,
right.
And then I got my opportunity. I just kept preparing. I would go to practice, and my teammates would be like, man, I don't know why you're not traveling. I don't know why you're not doing this. And I'm like, I just kept practicing hard every day, man. And, and I made sure they were going to see me every week and change their mind. But, that for whatever reason, well, I know what the reason was, because I was 5'8", and
right,
$155, and we had some, pretty good receivers there. I mean, some tall guys. Most of the guys were 6 foot, 6'1" and up. So, and then there was me. So, but I just kept going out there making the plays in practice, man, and it paid off for me that I kept practicing hard and preparing hard, and when they called my number, man, I was ready. So,
right.
And, so it paid off for me. So that's just how things work, man. I think I talk a little bit about that in the book, son, about those situations. So So, all those kids out there, man, that don't think it'll happen or something bad happened to you, man, you can't just tuck your tail, man, and drop your head. You just got to fight through it, because those are life lessons too, dude, because there are going to be opportunities out there when you don't get the job you think you're going to get. Somebody else might get it over you or, whatever it may be. You can't tuck your tail. You got to keep fighting, especially if you got a family. So it's a lot to be taken from that, especially when it comes down to just living life. So it's a lot to do with sports and life that you can kind of combine, and the Patriot way and all that stuff about how to approach a lot of different situations.
Yeah, those are great words. I mean, I feel like we say that to the kids a lot. We say, hey, when you get knocked down, you got to pick yourself back up. But I don't know that they hear too many stories about people that actually really had to do it. And this
I did it.
Yeah, you did it, Troy. And I mean,
man.
honestly,
yeah.
From the story you're telling, there's a few people. I mean, you made a couple coaches look good for making the decision on you, but you worked hard for it. And there's probably a few people out there that wish they would have taken a shot on you now. And that's a testament to you and to athletes that do that, because it means you persevere through the tough times. So you brought up at the end about how that's kind of like the Patriot way as well. And, the book's called Patriot Pride. And people can purchase it on tb80.net. They can go to bookstores. They can go to Amazon.com. You're going to be talking about these things at Bar Louie and Patriot Place, Thursday night, 6:30. They can go to tv80.net to purchase tickets ahead of time. And I do think they're going to be selling some tickets at the door if there's any left, but I know it's a limited number. I think there's only 80 to 100 tickets being sold. So if people want to get in there with you, they need to, I would suggest buying them ahead of time. But, the book's called Patriot Pride, and what you're talking about, you think correlates to how the Patriots were. And, for someone who was able to stay with the Patriots for 15 seasons and get cut and come back, and, you were playing behind some really great wide receivers almost your whole career. I mean, you were there when Terry Glenn was there, and, the late Terry Glenn and Ben Coates and Sean Jefferson. And, I mean, we remember all these guys. And then you were up there and, David Patton, David Givens, Deion Branch, everyone's coming in with you, and here you are, you're Troy Brown. I mean, you have to be one of the top fan favorites in all of New England. The Patriot fans love you, Troy.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because of your work ethic. So, what do you think? What do you think drove you to be able to stay with the Patriots for 15 seasons? And what was it like becoming a Patriot?
Well, I think it's just the way I approach the game. I think you hit it right on the head. I think the way I practice, the way I carried myself, it all showed. I think, a lot of things the fans said about me when I retired was that they just loved the way I played the game. My coaches all said the same thing. Drew Bledsoe, he said the same thing. He told a story about when I first came to camp, even when Parcells wasn't even sure about what he had in me, Bledsoe was already sure. He said he called home and said his dad asked him anything he excited about in camp, and he told his dad, it's this little receiver, that we had, he catches everything, and he practices hard and plays hard. And he was, back in 93. So, and, even Drew Bledsoe saw it back then. So, Bill Belichick, when he was there in 96, one of the reasons why they made it one of their first priorities to sign me back in 2000 when they got the job was because he saw the way I practiced in 96 when he was there as an assistant after he got fired from Cleveland. So, and then he was like, we had a hard time covering you in practice then, and then I went to the Jets. We had a hard time covering you when I was with the Jets there for those 3 years. So he's like, I'm going to give you an opportunity to start. So I'm like, well, shoot, that's cool with me. I'm signing back.
Yeah, right.
So I think that, that just people just respect that, and I appreciate it because, I've been retired now 10 years, and the people still love it. I can still go places, and people still show up and want to shake my hand and all that stuff. So it's been awesome for me here. And then I have to say one of the what's like from the player standpoint. Kevin Falk when I retired. He said one of the things that, a lot of things you don't even realize. He said, you know what, man, I tried to emulate you in everything that I did. I watched you every day when you came in here, and you came in early, you lived, you did your film work. I tried to do everything you did. I watched everything you did. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, man, I didn't realize that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm kind of glad I did try to do things the right way. And,
right. People will watch.
And people are watching you. And then when you watch Kevin Falk play, you see a lot of that. Yeah, Kevin remind me of myself.
I could see it. I could see it now that you're saying that. Yep.
Yeah. So very dependable player, and tough player, and do whatever it takes to win, and so that's all the tough lessons, man. You just never know who's watching you.
Right. I mean, that's good for all the kids to hear.
You just never know. So
yep.
you gotta always have your have your best put your best foot forward sometimes. Sometimes that is some of these silly sayings out there. Sometimes you only get one impression. Sometimes you only get one chance. Eminem said it best. So I mean, sometimes you listen to all these songs. You gotta listen to the words sometimes. So and you just never know who's watching you, man.
Yeah, that's good for like some, especially high school kids that are upperclassmen with the younger kids coming up, and we're seeing that a lot where the coaches are really leaning on older kids to be role models now, and it's great to be a great player, but it's also it's better to have great character. And Troy, you obviously have great character, and you had through your whole career, and people really tried to like copy that, which was fantastic. I mean,
exactly.
you're in the Patriots Hall of Fame, Troy. I mean, to us here in New England, that's you. How'd that feel?
No, because here's my thing. I know you got to ask another question, but you got to ask yourself all the time. If you're a coach, you got to ask yourself all the time. You got this one heck of an athlete, the guy that just can do whatever it is, but he doesn't work hard. He always cuts corners. Got a terrible attitude. Is that the guy you want leading your team? Or do you take the guy that maybe not quite as talented, but is really good, but is doing everything he can to get better and everything he can to, to help his team win and help younger guys and being a good example, being on time, being a good leader? That the guy you want to lead your team? Do you want your younger kids looking up to the other guy?
Right.
That can get by cutting corners. You don't. The rest of the kids can't be like that. So, I mean, you want example number 2. To be the leader of your football team. So, or whatever team it is you're going that you're trying to put together. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I know a lot of coaches in this area in particular, and they all share that sentiment. So, and that's what makes me feel good about what Rhode Island football has going on, because I know it starts with the coaching staff, and like I said, I know a lot of the coaches out here right now, and they really follow that, and character is a big thing. And that makes me proud, and that's why, we want to, promote those coaches and players in Rhode Island right now. So I wanted to ask you, and, being a, member of the Patriots Hall of Fame, I mean, how'd that feel? I mean, what is it like being part of that group? Because that's an amazing group.
Oh, it's a tremendous honor. I know when I first went in, I think there was only a handful of players that were in there. So, John Hanna, Andre Tippett, Steve Grogan, just a few guys that were in the Patriots Hall of Fame, and to be part of that, such a great organization, and what it's and to see what it's become now, man, it's truly an honor to be considered amongst some of the greats to play in this organization. So I'm definitely thrilled. It may be the highest honor I receive, you know, as an individual player there, you know. So it's you know, I just it was a great feeling, you know. See that walkway out there below CBS scene, those steps and everything, man. See how crowded that place was on that day, man. It was pretty amazing. So it was, you know, it let me know that all the hard work that you put in, and the hard work that your teammates have you put in, and the accomplishments that we did, that, you know, people really respected it and really appreciated it. You know, what we accomplished on the field.
Yeah, well, they really do, and I mean, you know, people. I don't know if you understand what you and that group of guys created. I feel like it started in '96, you know, with that Super Bowl team with Drew, and you know, then, you know, working your way into obviously the teams that were winning all the Super Bowls. But, you know, that this region, this area really just, you know, fell in love with the Patriots, and there's so many people behind you guys. It won't matter, Troy, if you come back around in 20 years from now, people are going to want to shake your hand for what you guys did. It's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. I know, right? So, yeah, right. Yeah. So again, I wanted to you know, talk about the book Patriot Pride, on sale now. You can go to tb80.net. You can purchase the book. You can also purchase tickets for the Bar Louie event this Thursday night, 6:30, tb80.net. It's a 21-plus event, and you can also purchase tickets at the door if there's any available, but I would suggest getting online there and buying them ahead of time. And Troy will be there. Mike Reese will be there as well, right, Troy?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mike Reese will be at the event as well. So Bar Louie Patriot Place this Thursday night at 6:30. You can meet Troy, get a signed book, and, you know, just hang around with one of the New England legends, which is amazing all in itself. So thank you for your time today, Troy. You know, for all the kids and coaches that were listening today, I mean, you said some really great things that hit home, and, you know, I'm hoping kids really listen, because hard work and determination and a great attitude takes you a long way.
Yes, it does.
All right. Well, thanks again, Troy, for being on the show, and hope we can talk again soon.
Yes, sir. No doubt, man. Thanks for having me on.
Okay. Thanks, Troy. All right.
Appreciate
this has been yeah, you're welcome. This has been Troy Brown, former New England Patriot, a member of the New England Patriots Hall of Fame, now author of Patriot Pride, his new book, and you can get it at tb80.net. You can buy it at a bookstore. You can go to amazon.com. But he is promoting his book at Bar Louie Patriot Place this Thursday at 6:30. You can go on to tb80.net to buy tickets, or you can also buy tickets at the door. So, again, thank you for everything, Troy. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. No problem. All right, everyone. This has been Ron Robert with the Ocean State Athlete Spotlight, SFBN Rhode Island. You can catch us on the sportsfanbasenetwork.com. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you all soon.